Hello, my name is Jer Welling. This video is specifically about the possibility of where the Jesus fish concept came from, which would be the pyramids of Egypt, which is, if you're looking down that line of which I'm about to explain, that line is the almost identical perspective of if you're standing in the forum and looking toward Egypt, you would basically see that size and shape and orientation of the Jesus fish if you could see the pyramids from there. And I'm going to talk to you today about a straight line between the Roman Forum and the pyramids of Egypt, with the western edge of the forum directly behind you and the entire middle of the forum stretching out before you facing east, well, 122 degrees east. If you can see 1,300 miles away, you would literally be looking at the top of the spinal cord of the western-facing spine of Janus, which is the pyramids of Egypt. The west-facing spine is created by, if you draw a line from the Djedefre pyramid, which is the farthest north, down to Khufu, to the center of Khufu, over to Khafre, over to Menkaure, then down to the Bent Pyramid. From the very dead center of each of those pyramids, from Djedefre to Bent, is the biological double spine of Janus. Being from mid-spine up is the eastern face, and from mid-spine down is the western spine of Janus. The Romans borrowed the concept of Janus from the Egyptians. The Egyptians, of course, the culture that built the pyramids were the Old Kingdom, who actually evacuated to Italy and built the city of Samhain. Although in Manx Gaelic, Samhain is actually pronounced Savan, S-A-V-E-N pronunciation. But since the character of seven and the other characters of S, E, V, and N did not exist yet, they had to go with something else, and they just translated it from Gaelic into Latin as Savan to Seven. The city of Seven Hills, otherwise known as City of Seven Hills, aka Rome, and has been in existence long before Romulus's grandparents were born. Several millennia before. The archaeology is starting to show that evidence. Now, what is important is that if you stood in that temple behind you, there's been like 3 or 4 temples on that exact, in the very dead center of the middle of the forum to the west. The temple that's there now was built after Julius Caesar. The temples before then have been semi-lost to history. But those temples, infrastructure and information is important because there's either 1,000 buildings that line up dead on the money perfectly, or they were built by chance, which is very, very doubtful because it bisects the center between 100 and 1,000 buildings. That line bisects the very center of. Now, what is absolutely vitally important is that if you are observing that, if you're standing in the middle of the forum, the Temple of Concord and other temples behind you, with the Temple of Jupiter off to your right on the Capitoline Hill, and the Temple of Juno to the left, to your left, although the Temple of Juno has been almost entirely obliterated, has been replaced by other architecture. If you look down that line, you'll be looking down this very, very center of the Arch of Titus, which was actually built and commissioned by and built by and designed by Claudius. You'll be looking down the center of that arch, although it's a couple hundred feet away, and there's buildings between, but that's not the point. You'll also be looking where the south wall of the Colosseum used to be, and that south wall was dismantled and moved to the Vatican, which is about 2 miles behind. If you look in that direction, that general area, you'll not only see the double spines of Janus, the pyramids, but you will also, if you take that line and apply it to fish and whales, the top part of a whale fish is dark, and the bottom part is light. If you take that light-dark division of marine animals, which means that if you superimpose the Jesus fish on that line, it will look like a fish, with the open mouth of the Jesus fish. In reality, the skulls of Janus at the far north end of the pyramids in Egypt metaphorically become the mouth of the fish. So you have the mouth of the fish, and the spine of the fish becomes the east face of Janus, and the spine of the west facing Janus is the belly of the fish, ending, then it crosses over at the hips and then forms the tail of the fish at the what would be the human coccyx. This is also a representation of the Jonas whale. So you have a great deal going on. So you have two things in one. So you're literally looking at the Jesus fish looking down the middle of the Roman Forum. That line is actually a road, which is called the Amber Road. Although it's not, technically speaking, it's both called the Amber Road and the Sacred Road, but since the sacred color of Rome is amber, umber, gold, red, the color red that the sacred road is called two things at the same time. It's called the red road. It's called the Amber Road, red road, gold road. It's also called the Sacred Road. Also, there's serious constant issues with the El Dorado and Cibola having connections with this situation. Just past the, well, several hundred feet past the Arch of Titus is where it currently is the Colosseum. It used to be the Domus Aurea, and before then there was a city of pillars there. The city of pillars was obliterated by Emperor Nero in order to partially erase this information. There's more videos to come. If you go ahead, like this page, and if you wouldn't mind a donation, that would be great.